windows down, a little noisy probably. I was disappointed to see that my footage yesterday did not really capture that truck that just about merged into me. Not only that, but my audio didn't match the visual footage. It was all off. So I reacted to the accident about 30 seconds before the footage showed it. It wasn't an accident, it was a close call, but that's another sign that this equipment is inadequate for what it is I'm trying to do here. And I think I'm going to start exploring some new, different equipment. And I'm going to be doing that. Today my battery's a little low on the phone. I didn't want to use it. You know, I never really want to use it, but for reasons. So I'm probably 20 or 30 minutes in already to this drive. Another 25 to go. So I had my windows down. The question for most people, many people, when I was young, it was all about gas. How much gas are you using? And is it more efficient to put your windows down or run your air conditioning? Obviously, if you put your windows down, you're adding a lot of drag. I find that the drag is increased on newer cars because of the increased aerodynamics. They're not building boxes anymore. They're building things to meet the air quality requirements, emission rules. So you're not going to get the same type of drag. In fact, newer cars, it seems the newer they are, the more uncomfortable it is to put your window down. Because the aerodynamics of the vehicle, putting the window down is almost painful. It hurts your ears. You're messing up a highly engineered plane, which is the side of your car, when you put that window down while traveling. So, a study was done, and this is old, but that study concluded that if you were driving under 45 miles per hour, the wind drag was negligible to the point that it was more efficient than running the air conditioning motor in the car. If you're going over 45 miles per hour, the wind drag was high enough that it made a difference over, and this is all four windows, not just your window, but every window in the car. So if your standard is every window in the car, 45 miles per hour, that's your cutoff. Put them up, put on the air conditioner. And it sort of makes sense because if you've ever put all your windows down on the highway, your car is kind of crazy. It's full of wind. It's an experience that only I as a child really remember, because it's not something we do anymore, right? I can't remember the wind tasseling my hair like it used to. It was almost cold. You felt this sort of cold chill on your skin from all the wind when you spent prolonged time on the highway with all four windows down in your car. And I would say that is a difference when you do have an uncomfortable window experience in your car, when it's just your window, put down the back window. Also, when you do that, it sort of changes the aerodynamics in a way that makes it less uncomfortable. So I have a car that if I just put my window down, it's very uncomfortable on my ears. It creates like a wind current against my ear But if I put down the back window behind me, also, that goes away completely. And I don't care to understand that, but that's just a thing that happens sometimes. I have found that with my car, I am much better off just running the air conditioner, because it is a smart air conditioner. I set a temperature, and of course I guess most new cars are like, this is not a new car, which is what's remarkable, is that I can actually turn the dial to a specific degree, roughly, and it'll just sort of do what's necessary to keep it at that range. So it'll raise the heat, it'll raise the air, cold, whatever it needs to do, and it's very subtle. You don't feel the air coming out ever. You're almost like, is this even working? Yeah, it's working, but I couldn't tell you where the air comes from. It doesn't, you don't feel it coming out of a vent. I don't know how it works, to be quite honest, but it does work. And so that, when you have a system like that, that really adds to the resource discussion, because you're not just running this motor at full blast or half blast. It's only being used as it's needed. So I consider that to be more efficient, certainly more efficient than the crude method of just opening a hole in the side of your... There was, my first car was a 1984 F-150, and it had two things I thought were cool. It had a sliding vent. Of course, it was unfiltered. But down by your feet, you could slide this piece of plastic open, and it would create a vent down by your feet, so airflow could come while you're driving. And it had the old school, fly, I think they called it, the cigarette fly. So you could turn that and blow air into the car that way without actually rolling down your window. Of course, if you were rolling it down in 1980, most of us. And I wish things like that were back a little bit, because I think it was useful, not because, obviously not for tobacco use or tossing a cigarette out your window, but for just kind of like natural air and just smart little helpful things that don't require hardware and mechanisms and things of that nature. It's a very simple thing. Of course, those things need to give way. Did the truck have an air conditioner? I want to say it did, but it didn't work. In those days, I wouldn't have used an air conditioner anyways. I was too cool for school. Had to have the windows down and show everybody what's going on, In fact, I remember having air conditioners and using them so rarely that I would have to turn them on periodically throughout the year just to keep the mechanisms from going bad. That was a rule. My grandfather taught me this rule. Every winter, run your air conditioner in your car, because the belts and the system, they need to be used somewhat often, at least a couple times a year, just to keep them from degenerating or whatever. I didn't know if that was true, but I was happy to do it because it seemed to make sense. So if you have a farm truck that has an air conditioner, I remember going out and just running the thing and running the air conditioner in it, while it's sitting there in a driveway or something, just to maintain it, even in the winter, right? If it was cold outside, and of course, how do you know it's actually working? It's just blowing cold air either way. Whatever. Now, it's hard to imagine living without it. In fact, I spent a very significant sum of money to fix my air conditioner. And I refused to go to work until I had a working air conditioner. My work makes me wear pants. My pants are not lightweight. So if I have to drive, even with windows down, and I'm in these heavy pants, I am not comfortable. You put the window down, now you've got sun coming through, direct sunlight on heavy pants. It just stinks. It stunk so bad that I said, I'm not going back to work till I get an air conditioner. And it took a few days. I want to say at least a couple $1,000s. And then there were leaks, all kinds of leaks in the system. So it would quit working. I'd have to take it back, get it recharged. They'd find another leak. I'd drive it all the... And we're talking, this place, 30-minute drive from my house, this mechanic. So I'd drive up there, and then I'd ride my bike home about an hour. I had to do this 3 times over the course of a week or something. And I was not very happy about the... Of course, they didn't charge me for the returns and all that, but it was not a fun experience. I mean, it kind of was, because I'd ride my bike all across the city. They had a route down, a lot of bike paths and stuff like that. It's kind of... Point is, I don't know if it's cultural or just gaining weight, whatever, but air conditioners mean a lot more to me now. I mean, I used to not even wear sunglasses. I don't know what I was like or why I was that way, but work outside, never wore sunglasses, my dad didn't like air conditioners even in his house. I get that. When you work outside, if you go inside an air conditioner, it messes up everything about your body's self-regulations, because you sure as heck don't want to go back outside to work, You're better off just staying out of the air conditioner. 100% agree with that. Except I don't agree with that today. When I do yard work and things, I love a little break. In the car, driving, something like that. I think a car air conditioner is not the same as central air in a house. I can remember vividly how cold and unnatural central air felt to me. Commercial buildings, homes. Anytime I went in a home with central air, I thought it took an adjustment for me. Right? I've spent many years in places without it, and it was an adjustment for me. I can remember the feeling of the difference. Experiencing it for the first time, some of the few rare times. I only recall having central air for maybe about a third of my childhood. Sounds about right. And it was not all at once, it was spread out over time. Raised like a lot of people. I don't think. A little different. Nothing wrong with it. Probably an asset, an advantage that I have. Diversity and so on. I'll tell you what. Wood central air often have what I call central heat, which is a central doggone wood stove that will heat up a house far better than central heat heats up a house. It's not spread out like central air, but it will sure do the job. So for what I lacked in air conditioning, I certainly had in heating in the winter. Not that it's fun to feed your stove at night or chop wood or haul wood from the chopping block and the wood chips that get all over your floor and your clothing and everything else. That part I really didn't like. Now they say it's a health hazard to have wood burn in your home. I believe that. I would not be shocked. But a wood stove is far more efficient than a fireplace. When they're talking about Europe and those 400-year-old fireplaces, those are bad for you. A wood stove is a contained unit with a pipe.